Hey there, welcome to Abundant Source Raw. In this video I wanted to talk about basically the most basic fundamental aspect of life, and it's basically the whole purpose of my YouTube channel, and it's what is going to bring us peace and happiness. And yeah, it's like the biggest thing that when I realized this and consistently started to think this way and feel this way is when it was just like everything just became so easy. And that's the fact that um, we are not these individuals, and that we are all connected, and that we're all this one thing, and that everything we see is basically just an extension, an expression of this one thing, which is us. We're all this one thing, and everything else is just an expression that comes from that one source. And everything perceives that expression differently. Even as humans, all humans perceive it differently, and of course all other living creatures and all other conscious extensions all see this differently, and it's all basically illusional. And so what's really helped me to stay super conscious and just really joyful all the time is just this realization that I am everything. I am the world, and that nothing is separate. Because what that does is it totally drops you from this place where you think that, where you're just kind of thinking about this one body and mind, and you're attached to this idea that you need and want things. You are not this. This body and mind are just learning devices, and you are not your learning device. And when you can drop this idea that you are these just tools, these catalysts, and you realize that you are this infinite thing that is everything, and that everything else is one with this everything, and you are a part of everything else, it brings you to this whole nother level of selflessness, because you're not thinking about the wants and needs so much of this one little learning device, but you're thinking about how you can help everything there is, because you know that that is all you. And I see so many people struggling and thinking, they're so attached to this idea that they are these bodies, and that, they have these emotional needs. And when you get caught up in that, it's almost impossible to stay peaceful and happy and blissful like everybody would like to be. And so people are on this roller coaster going up and down with their emotions. And there are highs and lows, and they get to this point of excitement because now they feel like they have what they want for this body and mind, and then it can drop just as instantly because they feel like it's been taken away, and now they have nothing, because they associate themselves with this device that has nothing to do with what they actually are, who they are, their true authenticity. All these emotions and feelings and things like that are all reactions and programming of the mind, which is not who you actually are. And people get very attached to the idea that emotions are very important, which they are important, but only as a stepping stone to learning that they aren't important. People think they want to have these things, and they want to have this power, and they want to have control, but you don't actually control power. You don't control power. What we are here to do is to open up these devices, these catalysts, and basically get rid of all the junk we've been programmed with, get rid of all the junk that is blocking us inside, so that way we can open up and be controlled by power. We don't want to have this power to control. We want to be controlled by power, because we are the power, and these are just tools for power's use and we have to surrender to that power, not try to gain it and use it for the advantages of this silly little idea of a person that we have in our mind. And so the reason we're unhappy is that we are trying to gather this power and use it for this illusionary concept that could never make us happy, when what we're supposed to be doing is surrendering ourselves and giving ourselves up to the power, which is basically what we truly are, and then letting that guide us. I mean, in my opinion, this whole human experience is mostly just for our own learning and development, and so it's something that we are just going through, and we can have fun with it. And you know, I love to be excited and ecstatic and express myself as a human being. But I think that the biggest reason that we are here is so that way we can learn to become more conscious and loving and light oriented. And it's just not going to happen if you have this idea that you are sort of this one individual. It's only going to happen if you can realize that you are infinite, that you are not this, and that you are everything. It's the only way that you're going to have consistent peacefulness in your life, consistent happiness and joy. And anytime you become attached in this belief that you're this individual person, you are going to have ups and downs. There's no way to avoid it. It's impossible, because you're living in illusion. And anytime you live in this illusion, then you are going to be subject to everything that comes with that illusion. And that's going to be pains and discomforts, as well as, you know, excitement and highs. But it's like this crazy, crazy roller coaster that will never keep you joyful and happy. So just, you know, I'm asking you to look into this and try to give up this idea that you're this one individual. And once you discover unity, then it just, like, everything becomes loving, and you see things in such a different way that really cultivates happiness and joy, and like just a perfectly balanced life where you know basically what's going on, you know what you're doing in this life now, and you can really help others to do the same. Here at the greenhouse, here it is. It's really nice, big size, and I'll do another little video here to show you what's inside. Nothing incredibly exciting at the moment, but I'll do a little tour. And so the last thing that I'll just talk about before I end this is, why does it matter what food we eat? Why does raw veganism and fruitarian matter if we're not this body and we're not this mind, and all this stuff is just, you know, is nothing? Then what is the point of eating a healthy diet? And that is basically to enhance the catalyst. When you are eating a crappy cooked food diet and junk food and all this other bad stuff, then you're going to be blocking the basically energy centers of the catalyst, and you're going to be less receptive to love and light, and it's going to be much, much harder to come to these realizations, and you're going to have that monkey mind going in your head, because you've got all these different signals going off in your body that are not supposed to, you know, be happening. They're happening because you're putting things that aren't supposed to be in there, and now all these wacky signals are going off, and different hormones are being released that are very, very hard for you to control, and your mind's going to be going crazy when that happens. And so it's very hard to just sit with yourself and be calm and peaceful when your body is, you know, out of alignment and out of sync with how it's actually supposed to be functioning. And that'll happen anytime you eat cooked food or anything that, you know, we're not biologically adapted to eat. And fruit is the most digestible food on the planet, as well as gives us the most and greatest nutritional ratios, and it's just the most gives us the most energy and, you know, the most nutritional value for the least amount of work. And because we're not having to digest so much, it gives us so much more energy to work on cleansing the body and clearing up the mind, and really helping us to get focused to a point to where it just becomes so natural to see the world as yourself and to be in this connected state. I know if I ever eat cooked food, then I feel like garbage, and then it goes straight to my brain, and then it's like impossible to shut myself up, and I start to, you know, criticize more, be more judgmental, and it's harder to be in that connected state. So that's really why I enjoy eating our natural diet of fruit, and it's also the most enjoyable, the most delicious, the most blissful eating experience that I've ever had with anything. So yeah, it's just all around the best. And I do believe it's the #1 thing you can do to up your spirituality and your consciousness is to get on a fruitarian diet, eat a very high fruit diet, and keep all your food as raw as possible. And then these realizations, and they just kind of open up and become a lot more obvious whenever you've got a clean device to work with. So that's going to be it. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys in the next video.